Hey everybody, I think we're live. How's everybody doing? Uh, we're going to be reacting to the episode of Zenkaiger that just happened. I think I'm good. See, make sure everything's okay. If anybody's in the chat and they can just let me know that the sound is okay. If it's not, I'll adjust it. Um, yeah, we had a great premiere of Super Sentai. So let's go over some quick things before we get to the main topic. Thanks, John, and welcome, and thank you for coming. um, I will say, spoiler warning, we are going to be going into what happened in the episode. So if you are looking to be spoiler free for the premiere, you might want to step out. I'll give another spoiler warning before we go into that. Um, let's see, two little things. Uh, we'll go with Saber and Power Rangers today as well before we dive into Zenkaiger. Dino Fury episode 3 was still pretty enjoyable, um, but they went back to that comedy duo stuff, and I'm not feeling it. Um, Saber was actually okay today. I'm usually not a fan, so that was cool to see. Um, New writer, that's pretty cool. Uh, so we'll talk Zenkaiger. What I really enjoyed, that camera, uh, was how fun it was, like unabashedly fun. It really feels energetic. Um, Even from the opening theme, it's just very boisterous and full of energy. Um, the opening theme has just so many references to past Super Sentai. Let me see if I can link you guys here. So many references to past Super Sentai. Let me see if there we go. Okay. I just translated the lyrics from the opening and put them in the Ranger Board discussion thread. So feel free to peruse that. Yeah, but there's all kinds of references to past Super Sentai, especially the ones that I think are going to be um, involved with the Ranger team. So that's pretty cool. Um, let's see. The episode starts out with our hero Goshikiri. Wow, can't talk. Goshikida Kaito trying to bungee jump off the sky tree, which is a very tall building in Japan. I don't know who among you has seen the sky tree. It's massive. I think it's 653 meters tall. Um, so obviously that was done for comedy, but his whole shtick this year is he wants to be the world's first something. Uh, so that should be pretty interesting. I'm wondering if they're going to every episode have him try and, be a, like a Guinness Book of World Records holder or something like that. I laughed a lot when the police threw him out. The cold open with the different Sentai teams getting their worlds locked inside the Tojiru gears was really cool. I liked how it looked. They basically went back for Go Ranger, Jew Ranger, and Kira Major to different scenes that showed the heroes looking up in the sky, and they CGI'd the Toji Tendo onto the sky. So that was really cool. Yeah, it starts out pretty ominous. Um, and basically we're treating all the Super Sentai as parallel worlds. It didn't specify what they treat as a parallel world because obviously the what they showed was our versions of the Super Sentai. Just maybe they're treating each season as a parallel world. So that was pretty cool. Um, Outside of Kaito, we have his grandmother Yatsude, who's really fun. Big, big famous actress in Japan. She runs a candy shop. Um, and then we have Juron, who's our first Kikainoid Ranger to join. He's a lot of fun. He feels very Momotaro-ish from Deno, but he has a little bit more of a laid back attitude, and it almost felt like they were trying to lightly address xenophobia or racism with him. Um, because he starts out just wanting to kind of party, and then when the bad guys attack, the civilians mistake him for one of the bad guys. So that is a really kind of deep thing to tackle in the premiere. That there's this weird situation where the Toji Tendo are bad guys, but they're also Kikanoids. So the Kikanoids that are stuck in this version of Earth, the ones that first show up are all good, but they are ruled by really evil ones. So it's an interesting dichotomy. It's almost like they're trying to set it up so that humanity doesn't entirely trust the Kikinoids as a race, and that could be for some that could lead to some interesting storytelling. I love the effects during the episode too. The CGI is Sentai CGI. There's no getting around that. But even saying that, like it's still fun and upbeat. Um, so that was cool too. I thought the way that they did both the Sentai powers, where you got to see like little glimpses of the entire team that they're using the gear from, and then also just the attacks themselves for Zenkaiser and Zenkaijuran were really, really cool. The ground battle was awesome. There was a lot of aerobatic moves. We drew on some CGI assistance with that because it is a bulkier suit. But then when you switch to the giant battle, that suit is moving around pretty good. And then they just switched to the CGI for the Tyrannosaurus mode. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm really interested in where it goes from here. The episode ends on a cliffhanger of sorts. I think we're going to have a few of those before we really start getting into the bigger story. The first four episodes are going to be where we meet our four Rangers. Then after that, we have episode 5 and 6, and then after 6 is where the movie takes place. And then after that, there's going to be some more developments, I'm sure. The other interesting thing was we saw all three remaining Kikainoid Rangers in the premiere in various places. So Gaon shows up in the very beginning when the Kikainoids get sent to Earth. Majin is being interviewed by a reporter 1 month after they arrive. She's also, I think, in the opening scene as well. Um, and you got little glimpses of her character, not so much Gaon. We saw kind of what he's about from the press conference and the preview. Majin feels very otaku like, as she was described. She's kind of nervous to be seen on camera, which was fun. I think all of the characters are going to be really fun. The real interesting thing was Vroon is the bad guy's janitor, and I couldn't help but think back to like Ninja Steel with Mick. Um, and I know it's not on purpose, but it was just some a funny thought that I had. That's going to be interesting to see how Vroon gets out of the castle um, and joins the Rangers. It should be different, which is good. I think different is good. Uh, Other than that, the villains are pretty cool. We don't see a lot of them. The boss, the Wall, Bokuasu, is very intimidating. Gege is so much bigger than I thought. When they say the guy was a wall, I thought he was like a human-sized wall. He's a wall-sized wall. So Gege is the size of like a regular person. I do get a feeling that Sechan and Gege are maybe gonna become Kikainoids or something like that because they just look like they should be mecha. The other villains don't really get to do a whole lot. I'm blanking on the names for them right now. The guy who has, the guy's basically a tank rolling around. Uh, doesn't really do much in this episode except kind of pay homage to his boss. But he does explain that they've captured basically all of the worlds except for this Earth. Everything else is captured. Um, yeah, it was really cool. There were some funny moments. There's a funny moment where Jiran shoots a random robot dude and a minion, not a good robot, a bad robot. And it was just funny. It feels like a mix of Deno and also I want to say like Lightspeed Rescue is coming to mind. I don't know. It feels like the the old Lightspeed Rescue is maybe a wrong thing to say. Maybe Kaku Ranger. The way that they're getting all of these heroes together, um, it's random, but also it's not random, right? So the guns are prepared to be used by these five. I think it was the feeling that I got, um, including Kaito. So it was interesting. If you guys have any questions or any comments and that kind of thing, we're not going to go too long tonight. I just wanted to give my opinions. And feel free to ask anything if you guys did not understand certain parts of the episode. And then when we hit all those questions, we can move into spoilers and what to expect from episode 2, quarter 3, that kind of thing. Say 66 says, it would be interesting if you could figure out what Kikai Node becomes what future Zenkaiger based on similarities to past mecha. Yeah, I think the only Kikai Node that I really got a feeling was designed in any important way was the one that Kaito first meets. Um, he looks pretty thorough, but you can tell the four that are on his team have a lot more going into their design, um, budget wise. The rest of them look like they might have been pulled together from pieces of Sentai monsters and Kamen Rider monsters and older suits. Still good. I didn't see any of them that I was like put off by. There was a Yeah, the white one. That's what I'm talking about. He stuck out a little bit. The only one that weirded me out was there was a scene on a bus or a train where there was a Kikainoid, but she was dressed as a Japanese high school girl, and there was a really weird wig situation going on. Um, but it's interesting. It's a very different worldview because we're seeing an Earth that has humans and robots cohabitating, in a different way than Zero One or even Geo showed it. So I liked it a lot. C66 says there was another one that looked like him though. That looked like the white robot, or that looked like Jiran. I'm not sure if we're getting any more Kikainoid Rangers. Possibly. I think we can get one or two more. Um, there is a rumor going around we're going to get a ninja one, the white one. Um, The only thing I would say about the white one is I can't tell what he's supposed to be. Like I don't know. I don't see his motif too clearly. There was like cop Kikinoids and doctor ones and things like that that could be like nods. Hi CV says I'm late. Do you know how much time passed after the Kikinoids came to Earth? Well, first welcome, and you're not too late. It's fine. I just started. I ran through the episode. Uh, do you know how much time passed after the Kikinoids came to Earth? It's been 1 month since they've come to Earth. So that first scene is Toji Tendo taking over the rest of the worlds they need to take over. I thought it was interesting that we saw Go Ranger, Jew Ranger, and then Kira Major. Go Ranger being the first, Kira Major being the last before Zenkaiger, and then Jew Ranger because it's the first Power Ranger series, I would imagine. And I do think they also took into account we had to find Super Sentai that had shots of the Rangers looking into the sky. So yeah, but it's only been 1 month. So it's been 1 month and it's been peaceful. Excuse me. Water. Um, it's been peaceful until now. The interesting thing is, I want to know what the Toji Tendo were doing in the interim, because basically the Kikanoids get sent here, the good ones, and then it takes a month for the army to arrive. Basically, it's just Ennis. Welcome. Kind of funny how Ruin is Toji Tendo's janitor. Man, I laughed so much, and like I said, it made me think. I am by far not a fan of Ninja Steel, but I am a fan of Mick on Ninja Steel. And it was the first thing that I thought of when Vroom kind of walking sweeping. I also thought of Jay from Go Busters in the one movie sweeping through the roll call scene. But yeah, it's funny. But it's funny, but also I'm wondering how they get him out of there. Um, he's supposed to be like craving knowledge and that kind of thing. I'm wondering if they lure him to the team with the promise of learning about all the Super Sentai and the technology and that kind of thing. That was interesting. His Kaito's parents seem to be really famous in the world. They disappeared doing research on parallel worlds, which is where the Kikanoids come from. Kikaitopia being a parallel world. Kaito immediately recognizes that they're from a parallel world. So there's a lot of backstory there that I hope that we get into. Say 66 says infiltrate, make humans complacent, and then full invasion. Yeah, no, that makes sense. It seemed to me like they didn't mean to send them there. Because the only Kikanoids that were attacking the humans were the army. Like the Kikanoids that get there in the beginning of the episode were just as confused as anybody. But Juron knew who Toji Tendo was, so they're ruling Kikaitopia with an iron fist, basically. 66 says maybe he gets fed up with being mistreated and defects. Very possible too. He could just get fed up and quit. We have next time we have Gaon join the team. Episode 3 is where Majin joins the team, and then Vroom doesn't join until episode 4. So we could see some character development before then, for sure. It's just Anna says, yeah, Zenkaiger has some great humor. I was laughing so hard when the foot soldier was comforting Juron when everyone thought he was with Toji Tendo. Man, it was so funny. And it's even funnier because technically he is with Toji Tendo. Like all of the Kikainoids are technically subservient to the king. It's just that they're not evil and he is. So it was just funny. It's you know what it has almost a One Piece kind of vibe to it. There's a lot of like frenetic energy, um, but then it gets there's like a deep cut at certain points. Like when Juron felt rejected by the humans, and he was holding that rock that thought were going to attack him. It was kind of crazy. High CV says, I just thought it was funny how the scene with the grandmother holding a gear tlinger was just imaginary. Yeah, so what she actually said, the actress who plays the grandmother, said in the press conference is that was taken on the first day of filming, and basically she showed up and they handed her the gun and they were like, here, hold this. Explosion. Right? Which I think is a stroke of genius on the director's part because the whole gag is that Kaito's trying to get her to be Zenkai Juron, um, and she just doesn't want to do it. She's old, and she has no reason to really want to fight. She's gonna be fun. I like mentor characters that don't really want to be mentor characters or have anything to do with the show. But then they're kind of there by default, and it's something that doesn't happen too often in Super Sentai. When it does, I really enjoy it. It just then says, I would have loved some badass grandma fight scene. Yeah, I mean the possibility's still there. So she's famous in Japan for playing Peter Pan in the Peter Pan musicals. And when she was cast, and we got that picture of her holding the gun, uh, people thought, hey, maybe they'll make her a Green Ranger. It's still possible. there's anything's possible at this point. Um, Part of the discussion tonight we'll get into once I'm confident people are done with the show questions. Yeah, she's a good singer too, so that might show up in the show. Uh, Part of the discussion that I wanted to get to was that the Geertlinger got hacked. But much like with Lupin Ranger, Potter Ranger, the VS Changer, even though it was hacked, all of the new Ranger stuff is hidden. It's not in the gun. There are two sounds that say New Ranger, but that's it. Which points to us probably having any New Ranger slash Mecha sounds divided up against future roleplay items. So that should be fun. I was a little bummed that we weren't getting hacks like that. We did get two really cool ones. We got um, Saber and Akiba Ranger gears are coming, which we talked a little bit about last night. By the way, thank you to everybody who was here last night for my stream. It was kind of a mess. I hopefully have a little bit more together tonight, but we'll see. I'm only planning to go till maybe 11:30 tonight, if that. Uh, Say 66 says, I imagine two Kaisers would have more. Yeah, so the going theory right now is that the Gear Deringer, which is two Kaisers henshin device, which is a pirate wheel gun sword thing. We haven't seen it yet. Uh, should have his three sounds, his three gears, and probably some workability with the legacy gears. John P. Green says, Gokaiger was the same way. There's no Gokai Silver Sound on the Mobiles. It's Gokaiger. That's right. There is. That's a good point. Or there isn't, I should say. Yeah, they've done that a couple times. The reason I was expecting them to all be in there is because the advertisements for the Geared Slinger said that it recognized all the gears. I took that to mean that it recognized all the gears with their original sounds, but what it probably means is just you can put all the gears in there and get some sound. There is a generic Zenkaiger sound in the gun, so maybe anything that is Ranger or Mecha related, if you put it in this gun, it either gives you the new Ranger sound or the Zenkaiger sound. But I like that they're keeping it a little bit mysterious. I still would like to see two Kaiser sooner rather than later. Mostly because a gold Gokai Red sounds really cool. Um, yeah. Anybody else just comments on the episode? I just, again, I thought it was a really fun premiere. I thought it wasn't too rushed. It took its time. We had some great world setup. I'm hoping they kind of go into a little bit more of what has been going on this past month. Like, how quick did other humans say, okay, we can get along with these robots? Kaito was kind of immediate, and I think he might have been the cause for some of the robots getting along with humanity, but they didn't really show it too much, and I don't think they had time to show it. But I'm wondering if we get more of that as the series goes on. C66 says, like the two Kaiser gears might give respective series sounds in the Gear Slinger for his powers, but just that. Hang on, let me. My old brain is tired. Like the two Kaiser gears might give respective series sounds and the Gear Slinger for his powers, but just that. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. My thought is because the Gear Deringer is uh the same price, I believe, as the Gear Slinger. I think it's going to have the same amount of sounds, but basically, I think they're going to swap out the Zenkaiger Core 5 sounds and put his sounds in. So that if you have the Gear Deringer, you can use different legacy gears. It might not have as many as the Gear Slinger because I think they want to make that the core thing moving forward. Your point is well taken, though. It might just be his Zenkaiger gears and then the standard versions. So O Ranger, Shinkenger, and Gokaiger. Excuse me. Yeah, we don't know a whole lot about quarter two. Um, we know what's in it, and we know the descriptions of everything. But as far as detailed images, no. We know the colors of his robot's two forms, but that's it. Okay, good. I'm glad I understood what you were trying to say. Um, Last night's stream was long, and again, I appreciate everybody sticking with me. Bio Dragon was a fun build last night, but it was rough towards the end. I think I should start those streams a little bit earlier when I did the model kit building because my brain was turned off even with coffee. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm expecting. So there's a rumor going around right now that Zenkaiser will get a power up in July, along with his personal mecha, which is rumored to be either a Very Doreen lookalike or Very Doreen itself in some way. Um, Very Doreen, for those unaware, is Go Ranger's second airship, which they get when their first airship gets destroyed. Zen Kaiser's outfit, besides looking like Aqua Ranger, has the same coloration as Very Doreen. So it would be fitting if his mecha was either Very Doreen or like it. Um, Sechan could really be his mecha, honestly, very easily, I think. Hi, Stevie said that would be cool. Yeah, I dig Very Doreen a lot. I think it's a cool mecha. I don't think it gets much recognition because it doesn't turn into a robot. So, that and Sky Ace and Very Balloon kind of get, people know them, but they get thrown by the wayside. Very Balloon had a cool moment in the Gokaiger 199 movie. But aside from that, I think Very Dream gets forgotten because it is the second airship. Even though I guess they don't have it longer, but I feel like it's the thing that survives, right? Like Very Balloon blows up, never gets rebuilt. It's only in the Gokaiger movie that we see it again. Um, so that would be cool. There's C66 says like some secondary mecha getting overlooked. Yeah, so I like to see that they're kind of going for the uh, the secondary mecha versus the primary one. Plus, they're taking this whole eagle motif thing, which is I'm assuming a reference to Go Ranger and Eagle, the organization that they're part of. So like Sechan is kind of parrot-like to kind of maybe reference Navi, but he's an eagle. The Gear Teringer looks like an eagle. Um, so Very Doreen has a bird-like appearance. It would make sense if Zen Kaiser's personal mecha took more of that bird motif. I actually just got the notification yesterday during the stream, actually, I think, that my first Zenkaiger merchandise was on the way, which is exciting. Uh, the first wave of toys released in Japan yesterday. So anybody who had ordered from the first wave, you should be getting either shipping notifications or payment requests, all that soon, if you didn't already. The only thing we have left for quarter one would be SG Set 2, GP Set 2, and Zenkai over Majin. I think everything else came out yesterday. So even the Gashapon Set 1, which was supposed to release next week sometime, already is out in Japan. So that's kind of cool. Um, okay, I mean, that's basically it for the episode. I think we can spend the rest of the time kind of talking leaks, rumors, your hopes for the series, my hope for the series. Um, I personally would like it to. I don't want it to lose the comedy angle because it was really funny, but you get the sense from the opening, kind of in the same way that Geo does, and is the same producer, um, that the show is headed towards somewhere not so bright and lively. It's a really ominous opening narration. So I kind of want to see them delve into that a little bit more before we get there. Like I want to see some evidence of that. I want to know where Kaito's parents are. How did they disappear? Um, we know from the like preamble that we got before the show came out that the Tojiru gears are misusing his parents' technology, Kaito's parents' technology. So how did their technology get into the hands of the Toji Tendo? Um, does it relate to how the gears seem predetermined to these five warriors? Is it predetermination, or if some human had picked up the Zenkaijuran gear, would they have been able to transform? Um, I feel like no, um, because they're not a robot, but I don't know. These are questions that are probably not going to get answered. It is Toku, and those things kind of get overlooked. Um, but it would be interesting to see. And of course, I'm looking forward to see what Two Kaiser brings to the table. He's going to be showing up as early as episode 7, which is, I think, the earliest we've gotten a Sixth Ranger. And I want to see if he's more adversarial. His merch is labeled as World Thief. So everything is Kaizoku, which would usually mean pirate, but they've used the kanji for world and thief. So that should be. I want to see if he's maybe trying to plunder the worlds that have been taken by Toji Tendo or something like that. Say 66 says, "Oh yeah, that would be interesting to see." Yeah, I want to see. So I definitely want to see if Two Kaiser is kind of treated like the secondary rider, where he's a jerk. But I also want to see some like deeper lore from the show. It's got the comedy. It nailed the comedy for me, and it's bright. It's energetic. The music is good. The BGM is great. They got back the same BGM composer from I think Go Ranger through Goggle 5. I could be misquoting that, but he was the Go Ranger composer. So, and excuse my voice. Says, would a human Gon just be a Gaon Ranger themed Yellow Ranger? See, that's why I'm curious because when they take when Kaito wakes up Sechan by repeating what his parents told him. So his catchphrase wakes up Sechan, which is a cool little Easter egg kind of thing. Because usually the catchphrase is kind of just thrown in there. This one has an origin. It's from his parents. He's quoting his parents. Um, that wakes up Seichan. Seichan brings him and his grandmother down to the basement essentially, and it's the control room, the base for the Zenkaiger. The gears have the robot rangers on them, right? So I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like if the gears weren't predetermined, I think you're right. I think a human would turn into a Gal Ranger themed Yellow Ranger, right? Something like Zen Kaiser or what Two Kaiser is supposed to be, where they basically look like an older Ranger, but there's more armor there. There's a difference in design. It's updated. Um, yeah, I think this was predetermined by maybe his parents. Um, I'd have to watch the episode again, but I don't think it didn't seem to me like Toji Tendo sent the Kikainoids to Earth. And so I'm wondering if maybe the parents had something to do with it, and that's why the Toji Tendo didn't attack immediately. Um, but we'll see. C66 also says, would a Kikainoid Zenkaiser be a Go Ranger Jacker themed airship? That's a possibility. Again, all the rumors that I've heard have said very Doreen, very specifically. Um, I don't think there's any Jacker influence except the team setup, where you have the White Ranger in the center, and then the other four kind of following his orders in a way. Um, but yeah, I don't think his suit design takes anything from Jacker. I think it takes from uh, Veridurine. I could see some Jacker influence in his mecha though, because they got to do something with Jacker. It's just Anna says, any ideas on what the other new hero sound could be? I'm thinking a green Kikanoid. So I definitely think we're getting a green Kikanoid because of the gun. But I also think that's probably just because it's the Go Ranger colors. But I could see us getting a green Kikanoid. Definitely, right now, my feeling is that he's the ninja. Um, because ninja is suspiciously absent from our setup. And there was a rumor maybe 2 months ago that said that extra rangers would be a ninja and a pirate or something like that. Um, and we're getting the pirate ranger, that's confirmed. Uh, who has an Oranger and a Shinkenger form, but Shinkenger isn't really ninja, and we're missing that, I think. Even though they have the same sound in the Geared Slinger. So if they didn't have a ninja, I guess they could say Shinkenger was representative of the Japanese themed series. Um, but we'll see. I agree with that though. I think it's a green Kikanoid that would be the new hero. That or it's set up in a way where any further gears have a certain like they share the same mold. And in the Geared Slinger it says new hero, but in the roleplay item that it's designed for, it says something else. That could be too. We could have multiple new heroes. We really don't know. I think there's about 6 or 7 unaccounted spaces in the Gear Slinger where sounds should be. Like theoretically, gears should take up those spaces, but they're not there. C66 says that could have been a side effect of their invasion, sending some Kikonides through. No, you're absolutely right. I just don't remember in the episode them saying that. And I don't know, it feels like if that were the case, they would have had some Kikonoids flip, like when the higher minion tells Juron to attack. He doesn't. The humans think he's gonna attack, but he doesn't have any like programming or anything. Um, so it's possible. I just get the feeling there's something weirder there. Also, the other worlds that we see, Go Ranger, Jew Ranger, and Kira Major, when the Toji Tendo show up, they just lock up the world. There's no fight, there's no anything. It's just locked up. So I feel like if Toji Tendo could have done that to this Earth, they would have. And the way that I took it was they just got to this Earth now, and the Kikinoids slipped through accidentally somehow. That's how I felt. Maybe I'll change my mind after I watch the episode again. Basically, what we have to look forward to right now. We're March 6th today. Uh, one daylight savings time tomorrow, so that's going to change the superhero time watching for people who observe that. For me, it'll be airing at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as opposed to 7, like it was today. And that'll be the same. That'll be that way until November. So don't miss next week if you can. That's why I had the schedule at 9:30 Eastern because I didn't want to miss uh, episodes for the following weeks. Yeah, already. Time flies. What is time anymore? I feel like we don't have a grasp on time like we used to pre-pandemic. It's just gone. The other thing we have to look forward to is the monthly magazines. Those should drop. Let's see. They're out on April 1st, so that is a Thursday. They should. We should be getting scans around March 29th. That should give us a look at Two Kaiser. Not necessarily his mecha, but Two Kaiser, definitely. And maybe the SD robots. I just mean I don't think Crocodile, his mecha is going to be shown because it's not released until June. So that's a big gap. Um, yeah, we'll see. That's an interesting thing too. They're releasing his mecha in June, but his Changer comes out at the end of April. That's a good month where he doesn't have a mecha. I mean, I guess they did the same thing with Silver, with Kirame Silver this year, but that was also, I feel like, assisted by the pandemic. So that should be interesting, I think. If he shows up in episode 7, it looks like 5 and 6 are a two-parter, and 7 and 8 are a two-parter. So if his entrance is 7 and 8, he's going to be without a robot for 9, 10, 11, 12. He would maybe get his robot in episode 13. So he would have no robot for like 5 episodes or so. That's a long time. Let's see. Did anybody not enjoy the premiere in the chat room? And don't be afraid to speak up a negative opinion, because that's how we have discussions. Or even if you enjoyed the premiere, is there something you wish the premiere would have done differently? Um, Again, the CGI for Tyranno was Sentai CGI. In the opening credits, the mecha looked really cool. But there was some iffiness to the CGI, but even Kamen Rider doesn't get good CGI. It usually gets worse, actually. High CV enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too. I thought it was pretty perfect. Say 66 says, yeah, it was good. Yeah, I thought it was a really good premiere. We've had some really rushed Sentai premieres, even like with shows that I enjoyed. I think like Go-Go 5 has the most rushed premiere of any Super Sentai. It's like boom, 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 boom. Okay, the Rangers. Okay, they're in the robot. Okay, this is their mission. There's almost no time to breathe. Here we had a little bit of a time to breathe. Like we got introduced to Kaito. The thing with the Kikai notes happened. Then a month passes. So there's story to tell. There's backstory if they want to choose to go back into that gap, right? Uh, and then we got Juron. Basically, a lot of the episode focused on Juron. Um, and we got little teases of the parents and what's going on there. I thought it was really well put together. It felt like there was a narrative being developed more so than just here toys. I mean, it was that too. They did a really good job of showing off the gears. Does anybody have any questions regarding either something in the episode that confused you while we're waiting for subs, or anything Zenkaiger related, anything Sentai related, really? Um, if there's merch questions, I can always answer that. Um, that's the other thing we're looking forward to. So right after we get these two Kaiser scans, March 29th or so, uh, let's say maybe April 5th, April 7th, around there is going to be the third quarter catalogs. That's going to get our uh, give us our power up possibly for Zenkaiser and his mecha confirmed. Juron is not Eren Yeager. Gowon is Eren Yeager, and I'm very excited about it. High CV says, and that question was from Say 66. High CV says, their bird ally, how did they awaken it? So when it flashbacks to Kaito's parents, his parents built Sechan for him. Probably also built him to combat Toji Tendo. Um, because the catchphrase that they use in their work is the catchphrase that he uses. When he uses it in front of Seichan, that's when Seichan wakes up. And I think it only happened at that point because the Toji Tendo were attacking. Seichan seems very knowledgeable about all Super Sentai, but also his parents' work. So that's how he wakes up. It's with that catchphrase, something something Zen Ryoku Zenkai. It was a lot of words. Say 66 says, I can't wait. Me neither. It's just Dennis says, I can't even imagine a Zenkaiger power up. He looks so great already. He does. The only thing that I can think of, I was looking at the Gear Slinger today in videos because I've been watching a lot of reviews. Everyone seems to love it. It seems like it's selling really well. The eagle head of the gun, I can almost see that being a helmet kind of thing. I could see his appearance taking on more of a bird esque look, especially if his mecha is going to be a bird. Say, I got confused. Zenkaiser. Yeah, no, I knew who you meant, Zenkaiser. And yeah, no, I mean, confusion happens with these shows a lot. Yeah, Eren Yeager is Kajiyuki is playing Gaon. I'm very excited for that. I'm a big fan of his. Um, what was really cool, excuse me, what was really cool is the credits had the voice actors like front and center. Usually, what happens with Super Sentai is even when the voice actors have been Rangers before, like Q Ranger, they didn't really put their names by their character. The voice actors usually get credit at the end of the opening, kind of like right down at the bottom. So this is like, no, these are the Rangers of the show. So they're going to be front and center. This is the credit. They're playing the Rangers this year. So that was cool. I like that a lot. It just kind of says that makes sense. A very different power up with a very different mecha. Yeah, because right now his gear, the Kikai side of his gear, because so there's two sides to every gear. There's the hero side, the Kikai side. Hero side is for the ground fights. Kikai side is for the giant fights. And according to the toy blogs from Bandai, you can use the legacy gears in the giant fights. Whether or not they will use that in the show, who knows? But there are sound effects and they got them for it. So it would stand to reason because his current gear, when you flip that to the Kikai side, it has the Zenkai Gatai sound effect, which is used for both Zenkaios. It makes you think if he was to get a mecha, he can't use that gear. He would need another gear to swap to the Kikai side. So my personal pet theory is that Sechan is going to transform into his mecha, and it'll kind of be like a power associated with his power up that he can kind of grow Sechan and turn him into an airship. But we'll see. That's me just fan theorizing. A little headcanon that I've developed. I think another interesting thing that I really want to see how people are reacting to now is are people who are iffy about the show after watching the premiere, has it flipped them to being less iffy? Because Juron felt very, very much like a human character, even though he was in suit the entire time. Um, and I just want to know, have some people changed their minds? That's all. Say66 says, some of the plot makes me think they were referencing past series plots and tidbits. Like, if you're right about that, Sitchan could be like Soulbird in that way. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, the opening literally has lines and catchphrases from older Super Sentai. So I could definitely see them kind of just paying tribute. I mean, Shirakura just came out in an interview and was basically like, Gokaiger didn't do enough as an anniversary series, which made me like stop and think like, what is he gonna do that he thinks will top Gokaiger? Now to be fair, Gokaiger did a lot of amazing things. I love Gokaiger. It's an Arakawa show, which is an automatic win for me. I think it's one of my favorite Sentai. Um, but Gokaiger has very weak villains outside of Basco. Um, they're villains for the sake of villains. Uh, and the toys, while Ranger Keys did amazing, and I mean really amazing, they're one of the best selling collectibles ever. Uh, the Gokaiger Mecha toys don't feel like they're celebrating the entirety of Super Sentai. So if we're gonna get like I think some of the spaces in the Gear Slinger that like point to, oh, this could be a mecha. One of them was Turbo Ranger. One of them was Battle Fever J. Um, not saying that they are those things because we don't have a sound. We just have a space, and it's by those names. Uh, I like the idea of that they're paying tribute to the entire realm, like the entire spectrum, I should say, of Super Sentai versus things that were on Power Rangers, which is the Gokaiger mecha that we got. I love the Gokaiger mecha, but that's what we got, and we didn't really get outside of like Very Balloon in the movie, but we didn't really get a toy of that. So, um, Sisson says missing parents equals Go Busters, Go Busters, Red Busters backstory. Beings from parallel dimension equals Juoger. Yeah, no, there's a lot of references to past Super Sentai, I think, for sure. Um, the missing parents I like. Um, it's a little cliche, but Sentai doesn't really do it a lot. Power Rangers does it all the time. It's just as it says, yeah, Battle Fever J Mecha would make a good reference considering it technically was the first robot. Yeah, I would like a Battle Fever J robot, just because one, it was the first Robo, as you said. Two, I like the aesthetic of Battle Fever Robo. And three, I think Battle Fever, when the rumors for Zenkaiger were first coming out, Battle Kenya was referenced as, hey, they kind of look like this. And we were racking our brains like, what do they mean they kind of look like Battle Kenya? There's some a little bit of crossover there, um, where Battle Fever J was a really strange looking series, but did really well. So I could see Battle Fever J robot getting some love. Say 66 says, what about Leopardon? Yeah, I mean, listen, I have the Super Mini Flow Leopardon. It is sitting with my Sentai stuff. I consider him the forebearer of the Super Sentai robots, but jokes as sarcasm. I knew you were gonna. I mean, we could see Leopardon referenced. There's nothing stopping them from referencing him. I don't think we could get a full Spider-Man reference unless Marvel's feeling generous. But they could do like a movie robot that's Leopardon. Could happen. It's just Dennis says if Zenkai Leopardon happens, it's screaming enjoyment. Yeah, I'd be down for it. I mean, it's basically it's just a ship with a leopard head on it, so they could do it. I think. Why not? Yeah, I mean they could do it a couple different ways. They could just re-release Gowan, but instead of a lion form, they just make it the lion head on a ship. There's a lot of things. The big rumor that we have now is that Zenkaiser's mecha, the airship, is going to allow for all four to combine, kind of Muteki Shogun style. Um, so two arms, two legs, Zenkaiser mecha in the middle. John Green says, "Ooh, I haven't even thought of that. I wonder what they'll do for the movie mecha this year, assuming they do one." Yeah, I mean, I think they'll do one. Kira Major technically did one. Um, well, no, technically they did too because they planned Zabune as the movie mecha, even though it was always planned to be a recurring series mecha, but it was supposed to debut in the movie. Um, but then they couldn't do the movie because of the pandemic, and then we got Red Chevolo as the movie mecha, quote unquote. So this year, I could see them doing the rumored ninja, um, ninja ranger slash mecha, what have you, as the movie. Because I feel like if they were going to make the ninja any kind of significant character, he would have been either on the court team or the Sixth Ranger. The fact that he's not the Sixth Ranger makes me think he could be like a movie exclusive Ranger. It's just that it says, yeah, Kira Major did that Zabune canon thing in their movie. Yep, they did the canon, and also Red Chevolo for sales wise. They released that as a sales item. So yeah, they had a couple then because I guess technically that's three new things that they made for the same project, which is interesting. I'm glad we got those movies. I haven't seen them yet, but I'm glad we got those movies. I'm glad that we're also getting a Kira Major versus Ryu Soldier. A lot of people were like convinced that it wouldn't happen. So, yeah, but we're let's see. 666 says like an inverted TF Energon Superlink Optimus Prime, one vehicle plus four robots. Yeah, exactly like that actually. Jumpy Green says, or are they going to do a seventh Ranger? Hey, they could do 8 Rangers or 10 Rangers or whatever. We don't know. Like I said, we have like 6 or 7 spots in the Gear Slinger that are unused, and they're by certain names. So he'll give me 1 second. I'll read off what we think we're getting as far as mecha. And again, not confirmed, not even really a rumor. This is just we have these spaces in the Gear Slinger where there should be gears coming out, but there aren't. Yeah, so we have a space by Battle Fever J, a space by Turbo Ranger, a space by GoGo 5, a space by Deca Ranger, and then 4 other spaces. And those 4 other spaces happen between Go Sager and Go Kaiser. I mean, yeah, so the thing about this series too is if they keep doing Kikainoids, right? Like, Two Kaiser's partners don't seem to be Kikainoids, but then because they're SD robots, which means they're super deformed. Like the what I'm picturing is SD Gundam. That is how they were described. So I'm thinking small little guys. His robot is a regular robot, but they're small. So I don't know if they'd be classified as Kikainoids. But then Gege seems to be a Kikainoid along with the rest of the villains. So I don't think size means anything here as far as what can be considered a Kikainoid because they're all machines. They all basically look different anyway. So, my point being that because we have the mecha being Rangers this year, any additional mecha might also be an additional Ranger. So if there's, you know, 6, 7, 8 spots open, we could have a couple of Rangers. Interesting says, I was looking through Cranjo's stuff and he helped me a little, but some of the last spots seem to be Christmas, 3 separate common gears, a super gear, etc. Oh, did he actually put up the list on his website? I know he put up a temporary he guessed kind of thing. Let me check that out then. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. Yeah, the thing is, they could definitely make more gears uh, in other devices, and I think that's where it's pointing to because Two Kaiser is not in the Gear Slinger. Like when we had the Seiza Blaster, every Ranger was in the Seiza Blaster because the other roleplay items didn't have the sound card capability to have multiple sounds. They kind of just had pre-recorded sounds that you would cycle through. Let's see this here. Yeah, if you guys, I mean, and you should check out Cranjo's blog and YouTube because he has all the sounds hacked basically. Let's see. Yeah, if you look at Cranjo's blog, I don't see any update to his master list on his website, but if you could link me, it's just Dennis to oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, Super Gear is interesting to me because I hadn't heard that one before. Um, I know we're getting getting uh Akiba Ranger, which is cool. Super would tie back to the uh the Juron power up that we heard leaked. Um, Now Super could be anything. It could be the power up of Zenkaiser. Um, it could be a lot of things, honestly. But thank you for bringing that up. So let's see. We had so you're saying Christmas, Super, Common Rider, three separate Common Rider gears. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, you figure Christmas has got to be in there. They do it every year. So, but three separate Common Rider gears. I'm assuming one might be for the Common Rider coming up because Saber will be ending around August, September. Uh, so thank you for that, Dennis. That's very informative. And I'll have to check out his videos again because I thought I was following them. C66 says, that would make sense since they might not have everything fleshed out before going into production. Yep. I wonder if Super is just pointing to the five-piece combo or maybe something else. Well, that could be. So Super is in the Juron sound card. It's Zenkaijo Super Juron is the sound effect in uh, the Juron sounds. He has three pins. The last pin is Super Juron. So it could be a power up for Juron. It could be something else. It could be a pun having to do with Two Kaiser because Su and Tu would be pronounced the same. His name is going to be Su Kaiser as far as the show is concerned, but it's spelt Two Kaiser. Uh, because puns. Sukai meaning like joy and fun and stuff. Um, yeah, that's interesting. I want to see if let's see. So the last thing I see Cranjo put up is a superhero time gear on his YouTube. I'm not sure if that's what we're talking about with Super, but let's see. I just want to test this out. That's interesting. So there's a gear that activates both the Zenkaiger sound and the Kamen Rider Saber sound. So a superhero time sound. But it sounds like you're talking about something else. Interesting. Okay. So we've been going an hour. I didn't want to go too late tonight. Is there any other questions, comments about the episode, comments about how I'm handling the Twitch stream? I criticism is fine. I'm doing this to have fun, but I also want to get better at it. And the more I do, I hope I will improve. Uh, okay. I mean, I think we've been pretty thorough. Subs for this should be out soon for Zenkaiger. I don't know which subgroup is doing it or not. I usually don't. Setting a title and category. Yes, I really should do that. And C66, this is something that I do in the Twitch app itself, correct? Because I'm using OBS. So I will definitely do that for the next time. And we're going to do this every week. I'll do like a post mortem for each Zenkaiger episode. John P. Green says thumbs up. Thank you. CB says nothing really for me. Just thank you for your time. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Really, I appreciate it. Yeah, the dashboard. Okay. And then, again, I appreciate the lesson because I have no idea what I'm doing. So okay, I will make sure to do that next time and eventually. What's hard about this is because I'm not playing any kind of game. The categories and stuff are hard to put in, but definitely the title I should be able to do. Um, so cool. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out because I don't want to blow my voice. We went for a really long time last night. Uh, I say 66 just so that you know. I did check the box, so this will be archived on Twitch. I didn't want to archive the one last night anyway, because it went for too long. I'm gonna just chatting should work. Cool. See, this is things I don't know. Just chatting for the category. Perfect. Uh, I will do that next time. Thank you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna put last night's on YouTube eventually if I can edit it um to any kind of length where it's not ridiculous. But I think the next time I do a model kit, we'll have the top-down camera, and it'll be more of a how-to video, hopefully. Okay, guys, before my voice completely blows out, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for watching Zenkaiger. I want to thank everybody for their theories and their comments and their advice. It really, really, really helps, and it makes this a hell of a lot more fun. Um, 66 says the thing about Twitch VODs, they disappear after a week for non-affiliates partners. Right. So yeah, I have it. I do have it recorded on the computer. So this will also go up on YouTube. Definitely because I'm a little bit more proud about this episode than I am last night's. So this will go up pretty much unedited on YouTube for archival purposes. So anybody who missed it can go watch it on there. I'll try to have both of them up within the next 2 days. Hi, Steve. Take care, man. Feel free to flex your collection one of these days. So actually, a couple people asked about my collection, and I have recorded a video. I'm gonna try and put it into the next stream, but it'll also be on YouTube. I did like a little room tour. You can upload it on Twitch afterwards too. Cool. Okay, I will try and do that as well. All right, guys. If in the meantime you need to contact me for any reason, or if you have any questions on Sentai or anything, I'm pretty much an open book. You can PM me at the Real Matt Hunt on Twitter, or here send me a message anytime. Again, if you feel obligated at all to donate, we really appreciate it. The donation button is on the About Me page. Um, I don't expect it, and you being here, watching and listening to me wax about Super Sentai is a gift enough. But should you feel obliged, it is there. And share to your friends if you think this is something that they would find interesting. And we're gonna try and really get some more content in the future, gaming and that kind of thing. Eventually, I want to do maybe every other day. I want to do some kind of stream. This will be our stream for every Saturday night, though. Okay, guys, that's it. I will see you next week, and we'll do a stream, a toy stream when I get my first wave of Zenkaiger stuff. That'll just be an unboxing and kind of demonstration thing. Have a good night and take care. Again, appreciate it.